Probably one of the nicest cars you've had in here. It is the oh yeah. See how fast she starts up? Yes, sir. Oh, I just love her. And we got the approval from John.
Yes, we do.
She's got good bones.
She sure does.
Yeah, it's gonna be
I'm
a fun
actually
one,
really
man.
impressed with how well she's held up over the years with everything. I mean,
Yeah.
car looks really, really good condition.
What is happening, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. Today we are in the garage with the Supra. We're actually not working on the Supra today. We are working on the E36 M3. And we're gonna start the process of gutting the car. I'll be honest with you, like the majority of that interior isn't even like salvageable. I personally don't think, unless someone wanted to like reupholster all of it. It doesn't have like the Vader seats or anything, so I don't really think it's worth too much. But for our application, none of that really matters because we are gutting it, throwing in a roll cage. I am gonna do something like a DIY custom rear seat delete. There are some smaller pieces that I might leave in there just so it doesn't look too bare. And then I am gonna be replacing the carpet with a brand new OEM carpet. We're gonna put a half roll cage in it, and then we'll put some nice race bucket seats up front with like a new racing steering wheel. We have a lot of work to do. But it doesn't have to happen overnight. Obviously, this is gonna be a longer project, and that's kind of the fun of it, to see it progress over time. So let's go ahead and pull the Supra out, pull the E36 in, and start the process. I don't know why this vision right here makes me so happy, but it really does. Seeing these two next to each other, man, oh, I just can't wait to see this progression of this car. And these are just two snacks, dude. It's just like, that's the appetizer and that's the entree. It's like a whole ass meal. Their first time hanging out. So this is what I have off so far. Really not much, but I did go ahead and pull the door cards off because these were just becoming a huge nightmare. It's funny because like they actually don't look terrible on camera, but in real life, they're just like, dude, they're demolished. I guess someone could probably bring them back to life if they really wanted to. But also, these are really heavy. I'm really curious to see what kind of weight savings we get out of this, because these two together, probably like 10 pounds just on the door cards alone. So I'm replacing the door cards with the Hard Motorsports lightweight door cards that have like the rope that you pull to open it. Crazy how much smaller this thing is than the Supra. The Supra's so wide. Like I have so much room in the garage with this car in here. So there are a lot of little like OEM things that I've ordered that I'm gonna be replacing on the car. First and foremost, all of these are gonna get replaced, and I ordered all new clips for these. This is like super common with these cars. Clips go bad and the moldings fall off. So as you can see, we're missing one right here. Rather than trying to save these ones, I'm just gonna buy all new ones. And then once we wrap it, it's really gonna look like brand new. We're gonna replace all of the moldings on the car. In total, I don't know how much I'm spending on the moldings, but there's a lot of them. And you'd be surprised, there's actually some parts, some moldings that are a few $100s just for one, like this guy in here. The interior one is actually quite expensive, including the door cards. The door cards are like 150 or something like that a pop. So as you guys can see, the interior is, yeah, dude, it's rough. I mean, it's seen better days. All of this is going to get either replaced or taken out. So obviously these seats are gonna come out. This carpet, I mean, dude, carpet is coming out. This window doesn't work. We're gonna diagnose that. Steering wheel is gonna get fixed. It's slightly cockeyed. The rear seats are going to come out. What I'd like to do ideally is build some sort of rear seat delete that's clean. And I'm gonna try and figure out what I wanna do with the sides back there. I don't know if I should take those off or not. I'm gonna look at some track builds and see what people are doing. But I think the entire new carpet is like $500 for the black. So I'm just gonna replace all the carpet with brand new black E36 carpet. What I'm focusing on before I get into all of that is going to be a lot of like the trim pieces. You know, like I mentioned these, we're missing some seal here. So I'm gonna replace this entire seal along the side skirt. Replacing this with the factory amber one. I like the amber better. I just think it looks better. Before we wrap, I have some sanding to do. Like I want all of this to be smooth before we wrap it, so you can't see it through the wrap. I do have the amber coming for this. I think that just looks better. The headlights, I believe, are fine. Like they're savable. I don't really like the modern ones that have like the rings on them. I just think it looks weird on this era of car. Kind of don't want to like go too aftermarket with this car. car. I really do like the OEM accents of it. I would say the only thing that I'm kind of taking away from it is the chrome. I'm gonna do the black grille, already ordered it. And then I do have the yellow fog lights that are coming. This hole right here is for the brake channel that funnels air from the front of the bumper into the brake ducts. If you look in here, there's a couple of tabs. One of them is broken, and I believe the other one has it broken off too. And if those break, you can't actually get the brake ducts to sit in there. Now we could like jerry rig it or something if we want to. I haven't quite decided if I'm gonna replace this whole bumper yet. I don't know if we necessarily have to. It's not in terrible condition. Like there are some things that are gonna be sanded down before we wrap it to make it look a little bit better. Obviously the molding will get replaced. This I'm cutting out. I'm cutting out the entire grill area up here, and I'm gonna be replacing that with the mesh version of it. And then I do have a carbon lip coming from Souvenir, so I think that that is gonna look pretty good. Nothing too crazy or aggressive, very OEM simple. Then we have like more sanding to do up here. We did realize that the suspension is like a cheap $500 eBay suspension, so I'm gonna run the KWV3 suspension on here. I also have to order the under tray for the front, but as far as like actual parts for like maintenance and stuff, I can't even go into that in this video because I probably have over 100 items that I'm ordering. We are really gonna be building this thing from the bottom up, like the entire lower underside, like all the bushings, sway links, all those things, they're all getting replaced with upgraded parts. So it's really gonna be like an incredibly solid car when I'm done with it. I do plan on keeping this afterwards because honestly, the amount of money that I'm gonna put into it, I'll never get that money back. I mean, I'm really going to be building this car for me only, and the personal satisfaction of actually building a car the right way. That is why I'm doing this. It does have some pretty aggressive dings in it. I'm really hoping that we can get these out. Some of them are gnarly. Like, I don't know what that was from, but I'm gonna have my dent guy come to the wrap shop. So before we wrap it, we're gonna kind of like prep the car and just do all the sanding, get as many of the dings taken out as possible. Obviously remove all of the tint because the tint is way too dark. It's old. It's basically just turned to shit. Fix all the moldings. I'm gonna have the windshield replaced because the windshield actually has grooves in it. I'm sure that someone just ran these down at one point and just kept running it on the metal. I did order the Apex Arc 8s, which I think, in my opinion, look the best and are super affordable for these cars. I mean, I think I paid $1,200 for the set. I went with the 17 by 8.5 with an offset of 40, so that is a square setup on this car. Now you could do the more aggressive one, which is the 17 by 9, but the problem with that is you have to run -2 degrees of camber and 5mm spacers, and there might be some rubbing or might not be some rubbing, but the advantage is that you get the cool concave. I really don't think for like a track purpose in a car that I really don't want to deal with like rubbing and I'm going to be pushing hard. It makes more sense to have the clearance that I know I'm going to get out of the 8.5 inch wide. So we're just going to run that. And tire size, somewhere in between 235, 245 and 40. I don't know quite what I'm going to do yet, but I would like to get a more of like a track tire setup, like R888s or something like that, or some like Nittos on it. I don't know. I honestly haven't even gotten that far. Now again, once we get to like actual modifications, we are going to do a few power modifications, headers, exhaust, basics like that, some cooling upgrades and some oil upgrades as well. I think for the exhaust, rather than like buying a Super Sprint or like a Corsa exhaust, I'm going to have CES actually fabricate a custom exhaust, but it's going to make for a fun change. I mean, you know, at the end of this build, who knows how long it's going to take. If I had to guess, I'd say probably 6 months to the point where I think it's going to be in a very good position. I'm going to try and move as fast as possible, but you know, some of these parts are really hard to get right now. So I'm going to do my best to keep it moving, but it should be good, guys. I really do think this is going to be one of the most dramatic transformations when it comes to a build on this channel, and it's going to be a lot of fun. The thing about these older cars, like the plastic just disintegrates as you start removing stuff. Oh, cool. Nice, dude. I love that, how these windows do that. So classic. Dude, we did it. We gutted the living shit out of this interior. It's a lot of stuff. I'm gonna get the rest of that little carpet out, and then I'm just gonna do a vacuum. I want it to be like as dust-free as possible when I take it into the wrap shop. And then once we get to the wrap shop, we're gonna start removing all the seals and like the sills and all that stuff and replace them. So after they do the wrap, perfect when it goes back together. And then we'll figure out what I'm gonna do with this interior. I'm gonna think on it, man. I do wanna try and keep this car, you know, like a street track build, but I do also wanna make it like look decent in here and not like completely a shell. So I do think that like adding the carpet, like a new carpet back in is the way to go. However, I would just make it easy on myself when it came to the installation, and like I wouldn't have to remove everything to put it back in. But for the back, I would like to find like a DIY. This is where I have to do a little bit of research. I'd like to find a DIY to basically do like a rear section delete, because obviously like the cage will be here and everything, so it won't look terrible. But yeah, we made some really good progress. Like, this is amazing. Okay, here's everything out of the car. This is going straight in the trash. I think for now I'm gonna keep everything else in the other garage, just so I have it, just in case I need something. Like I said before, the majority of this stuff is going to be discarded. I'm gonna put the driver's seat back in, just so I can drive it to the wrap shop. We're pretty much at the point where we start putting things in that are going to remain in. So, pretty crazy. Fully gutted. Oh my God, the car's gotta be so much lighter right now. It's crazy. Interesting finds. I didn't even know this had a CD changer in it. So that's pretty crazy. It has a remote keyless entry system. Lots of stuff. Not even gonna lie, that was quite the task, but we got it done. And now we have like the perfect platform to build on. Stripped down, clean. I vacuumed everything out to the best of my abilities. But just wait, once we get that brand new OEM black carpeting in here, clean up all this stuff, start getting things back to fresh and brand new, this thing, I'm telling you guys, it's gonna be a good one. I think for all the builds I've done, this is one that's really going to be, I'm gonna be very proud of this one. So next step from here, I'm gonna be taking it over to the wrap shop and getting things ready. I'm gonna start pulling like off the bumpers and the moldings and see exactly what I need to order in terms of like the OEM parts to really get this thing dialed in once it gets wrapped and we put it back together. I wanna make sure that I put all new parts on, new seals, just so it looks really, really good. And then from there, it's gonna go over to John at CES Motorsport, and we're gonna start working on the car, like KW suspension, fixing all the bushings, replacing all the maintenance stuff, fixing the oil leaks. And then after all the maintenance and like track prep, we're going to put it on the dyno, see what it makes, take it to the track, run it on the track, then bring it back, and we're gonna do more performance stuff. So it's gonna be a long journey, you guys. That road is gonna take months, but get excited, it's gonna be fun. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.